Hi everyone and welcome to this week's Monday Memo. Now before I get into the detail of the show, I'd just like to say a big thanks to Carl Kern for sending me a link to a TEDx talk given by an executive at a very large advertising firm, and I include the link to this in the show notes, but essentially it was titled Perspective is Everything. Now I may not necessarily agree that it's everything, but particularly when it comes to supporting the financial decisions our organisations are making, perspective is indeed very important. And maybe if we were to look in our own worlds and our own lives, have you ever gone into a restaurant and it's got a great reputation for food? However, it's a little on the dirty side. There's perhaps a lot of muck on the floor and the smell isn't great. It might smell of, raw sewage or some rotten eggs. In that moment in time, what's more important to you? The food or the experience or the ambience that the restaurant is creating from a value perspective? And if you were the owner of that restaurant or the manager, what's the best next decision you can take to enhance the value of the customer's experience? Is it to create better food, which is already of a very good quality, or is it to do something about the ambience, the smell, the unclean floors to enhance the value of the customer experience? So in that instance, the best decision isn't actually investing in the product itself, is sort of doing something about the experience outside of that. And as finance professionals, I think sometimes we get a bit trapped in going straight for the numbers first. Probably, I guess it's because of our classical training, this sort of economics thinking, and perhaps that when we get to things like perspective or areas called like praxeology, which draws from the Austrian school of economics, funny enough, these more psychological models tend not to exist as much or be as familiar. So we probably go to our areas of comfort and consider, the money side first. And the easiest thing to do in the restaurant example is one way of increasing value is to sell more food, look at the cost going into the meal, try and refine the margins there to drive additional value for shareholders. But from a psychological perspective, the right decision to do is actually go do something about the environment of the restaurant itself, the smell, the unclean floor, and so on. And there's plenty of examples out there of this around where perspective is important. Like for instance, on the London Underground, the management there could have made a decision to improve the value of the experience of customers by increasing the number of trains, the frequency of them, carriages, giving them more space and so on. But actually what they found the best return investments of all the decisions was putting up these sort of dot matrix signs which told customers how long they had to wait for the next train. Again, not necessarily something that you could sort of see as a financial value driver, but more as a psychological value driver. And we see this within our organisations as well when it comes to decision making. For instance, if you're working a deal as part of a business and you're being asked to concede some sort of margin in terms of being able to do the deal and drive shareholder value, then for some decision makers what they'd like to see is that maybe a puts and takes schedule in terms of what are they putting up for the deal relative to other teams, and is that psychologically fair? So if the other business is twice the size, are they putting up twice the size of the stake to go win the deal, even though it's good business for the whole firm? Otherwise, you don't make that clear. There's a lot more friction in the deal, putting it at risk for the business, but also for delivering value to the customer. So I guess the main message in this week's Monday Memo is just to take heed of the importance of perspective. Even leaders in finance know this, like Charlie Munger, one of the key leaders of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway organization, is well known for saying, if economics or finance isn't behavioral, then I don't know what the hell it is. So there's always this behavioral, psychological, praxeology type angle that we should be considering. And whilst I probably disagree with the title of the TEDx talk that perspective is everything, we should definitely be considering it when we're supporting decision makings. And the way we do that is what we've talked about on the show previously and guest mentors have said, is this sort of active listening. There's a reason we've two ears and one mouth. It's to sort of listen to try and understand other people's perspectives. So when we're looking at the numbers, we can also bear in mind the other opportunities for delivering psychological value. And sometimes the right thing in decision making may not necessarily to be improving the financial value drivers, but actually closing have one gaps on those psychological areas, and appreciate that finance, economics and psychology all have a role to play in terms of helping organizations make better decisions And that's how we can also make a bigger impact for organizations, by appreciating those areas too. So look, I hope you really enjoyed this episode. If you did, please share with your friends and colleagues. We're on all the major platforms: iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube and Spotify. And we really appreciate you investing your time with us today. So until next week, take care of yourselves and let's keep on building our strength in the numbers.